If I were to just give you a piece of text, how would you read it aloud to people? And then the second question is, do you think you could read it in a way that would sound even better than that first way? Well, today we're going to be talking about some techniques that you can use to automatically take any sort of written form or written source of information and make it into an engaging piece of dialogue, of speech, of just talking with people. And the best part is that you can take any of these techniques and you can immediately apply them to your own speech. So that way, the next time you even talk to someone, it can also be a dynamic experience. Good morning, guys. Good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to the Express. This is our show here on Forward, where we are trying to move text into moving speech. To guide you in this process, there is me. My name is Jeff. I have a couple of people that we're going to be working with today. Today we're going to be working with Ivan. What's up, Ivan? And also Gotcha. What's up to you? Gotcha. Thank you both for joining me today. We have a poem that we're going to be working with specifically, and I'd love to kind of start with just the baseline. Okay, so this is our text. If you guys can see this, okay, this is for anyone who's familiar with poetry or English language poetry, this is one of the famous ones by William Carlos Williams called The Red Wheelbarrow. Um, I kind of, again, just want to see how we would start off as a baseline, and then we'll talk about a quick framework you can use to make it into a more dynamic experience, potentially. Gansham, I'll start with you. Is there a chance you could read this for me?
Jeb, can you bigger this text? I can't see it properly.
I can try to make it a little bit bigger, but this is already about as large as I can go. I can take off the title and things. Give me a moment. And if you're unable to see this, then you may have to just catch on to replay. Because unfortunately, this is about as big as I can make this. I'll be honest, it's already pretty large. Can you see this okay?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. All right, whenever you're ready, if you could read this for me.
The whole text.
Whole text. It's not too many words.
Yeah. So much depends upon a red weight barrel blazed with rain water beside the white chicken.
Okay. Can you read that one more time for me?
So much depends upon a red weight barrel blazed with rainwater beside the white chicken.
Perfect. Thank you very much for doing that. Ivan, whenever you're ready, sir, if you could read this for me.
Alright. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater besides the white chickens.
Perfect. And just for sake of comfort, could you read this one more time again?
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow, glazed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
Perfect. Okay, so our goal today is I want to introduce to you guys a framework that I've been using with students and I've liked the results with, and I think it's something that you can use for yourselves to make things turn into experiences. Because right now, the way you guys are reading this, you're kind of just reading me information, and that's fine. But I think imagine that you needed to talk to me for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and that's how you would talk. I'll be honest, from a listener's perspective, it may not be the most engaging experience. I think there's some things we can do to make it into something that not only you convey the information with, but is actually enjoyable for everyone. And I think can also be more fun for you too. Okay. So it starts with emotion. One of the things I need us to understand is that when we learn a second language, we are approaching a second language very often as a tool. Most likely, if you guys are watching this, you learned English in school, probably in a classroom. You probably had to take tests and things like that. Okay. Now, you had to do that in your first language as well. I won't deny that. But the advantage of your first language is you also had parents, you had friends, you had connections that you made in your first language. And so there's a lot of emotional substance, an emotional weight that your first language has. And that emotional weight is very valuable. I'm not going to say it's always pleasant. Some of us have tense relationships even with our first language too. I won't deny that. But the advantage is that when you talk in your first language, the emotions become a little bit easier to access because you've been doing that your whole life. Whereas English has been very sanitized, or it's been very one way. Maybe you just learned English watching TV or listening to the radio or things like that. You didn't actually get to attach a lot of emotional weight to what we do. And so when we look at this text, we're just going to do a quick little exercise. I haven't got you. Can you guys get what's an emotion that when you look at this, you start thinking about? And there's not really a right or wrong answer here. But what's an emotion? Happiness, sadness, frustration, anger, tired, uh, nervous, or even something that's more nuanced. What's an emotion that you
Uh,
get with this?
well, to me, is the important information that we want to impart to the audience.
Okay, so what emotion would you put with that?
I think sad.
Sad? Okay,
Yeah.
we can use sad. Okay. And if you are watching this and you have a different emotion, that's fine too. We're going to walk through a framework. You can really do this with any sort of emotion. Okay. So we're going to start off. Our emotion we're going to go for today is sad. That's all we're going to worry about. All right. So first things first, let's kind of just decide on some of the elements that we're going to want to associate with this. So let's talk about first category. Let's talk about firmness. When I talk about firmness, you guys have heard me before. Firmness is, for instance, talk like this. This is very firm. This is a firm way of talking. Okay, it's very tense. Blocks off a lot of breath and things. Okay. This is softness. Softness kind of smooths everything out. This is a softer way of talking. So when you think of sadness, do you think we lean more towards firm or do you think we lean more towards soft? Which direction do you think we go in?
Softness.
Soft?
Soft, obviously.
Soft? Okay, everyone's saying soft. All right, we'll go more soft. So firmness, we're going to try to keep things a bit soft. Great. Okay. Next, let's talk a little bit about pitch. When you think sadness, do you think high pitch really high, or do you think low pitch real low?
Should be low.
Lower,
Mid low. Mid
low,
low.
low, mid low. Okay, so I'll lean low. And I think when you're doing this sort of exercise, I think it's helpful to try not to just stick in the middle. Okay, because the way you talk right now, you're probably already in the middle. And we're trying to push ourselves a little bit more. So I would say try to lean towards an extreme. Try not to just settle in the middle. You're already talking the middle. So let's try to push some boundaries a little bit. Okay. So we got firmness, we got pitch. Let's talk about speed. Do you think we're going to read this fast or slow? Something sad. Do we go fast? Do we go slow? What do you think?
Should be slow.
Slow? Okay. I'm always a little hesitant to say slow because one of the things we'll see is there's a lot of nuance to this. Okay. But I think in general, when people think sad, I think they often think slow. That makes sense to me. Okay. So we have firmness, we got pitch, we got speed. Let's maybe do one more element of contrast. Let's talk. We could do volume. Let's talk volume. So when you think sad, do you think you're going to yell at me or do you think you're going to like whisper? If you had to lean one way or the other.
Should be
Whispering.
more whispering, I believe.
Okay, so
Whispering.
we're going to do a low volume. We're going to like whisper a little bit. Okay. Now a key thing when you're doing this is that these ideas, these concepts that we're talking about, this framework, it's not that we have to do this for everything, for every single word. That's not what this is about. Okay. But it's the overall sense. Okay. In general, we want a lot of our words or a lot of what we say to convey this sense. Okay. So to Alyssa hanging out with us in the chat, great to have you. Okay. All right. A couple other things. So these are kind of the vocal qualities, and there's other ones you could apply to, but we can just start with these. This is a solid base. Some other qualities, though, beyond our voice. Let's talk a little bit about. Let's talk about what our head a little bit. Okay, where are you going to put your head? What direction your head's going to be? You're going to be looking up. You're going to be looking down. You're going to be looking straight on. We're doing a head tilt. What are we doing with our head?
Well, I guess
Uh,
a combination of straight and down.
Straight and down. So I'm going to write down. Okay, because it's implied that we'll probably have some moments with straight, right? So the thing that's going to be unique about this is maybe we're going to have some moments where we look down. Great. Okay.
little little tilt face.
Down and then maybe a little bit of a tilt. Okay, so we're going to tilt our heads a bit. Okay. Let's talk about our shoulders. What are you going to do with your shoulders? If you're sad, what do you do with your shoulders? Are they up? Are they down? Are they straight?
Rising.
Shrugging.
Shrugging?
A
It's like
little
this?
Hmm.
Yeah?
a little rise.
So when you guys are sad, you kind of like doing like something like this a little bit?
No, I feel like when you're sad, I believe that you complain about a lot of things.
Mmm. Just think. Alyssa's saying that the shoulders droop. I'm thinking that honestly, that's the direction I think too. When I'm sad, it's just kind of like slouching, just like kind of like shoulders down. However, this is something that you can think about for yourselves. Okay, think about next time you're sad. Try to pay attention to what your body is doing. Okay, I'm thinking that shoulders are going to slouch a bit. I'll be honest. Okay, let's talk about one more body part. Let's talk about our hands. What do you do with your hands when you're sad?
Mhm.
I know some of you have never thought about this before. What do I do with my hands when I'm sad? I don't even know. You probably do something though.
Putting them in my pockets.
I like that. That's some defensive posturing. That's great. So kind of like pockets. I'm gonna write a word here, and we can talk about what it means. I'm gonna say we're gonna be try to be closed off. Okay, we're gonna be try defensive posturing. When we're not feeling good, we protect ourselves. Okay, a lot of times when you do that, that's like, for instance, you might like put your hands like above your elbows a bit. You might try to close off, or you might put them in your pockets. It makes you a little smaller. Okay, all that sort of thing. It's very defensive. Okay, so hands in pockets, kept around your side. Again, slightly. That again closes you off when your hands are like that. Versus like if your hands are out, that's very open. I don't want to say aggressive, but it's very you take up more space, right? Versus if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're depressed, if you're nervous, those are times you tend to close off and protect yourself. Okay, so like, um, so we might try to keep our hands closer to our body. So we don't want to be out. We want to be kind of closer. And this has a dramatic impact on how you feel. Okay, so for instance, you guys watching this, what I want you to do, just a quick exercise to see how your hands change how you feel, where you put them. Ivan, I can see you. Ivan, put your hands out really quick, just like real, just kind of like outstretch them. Go real, not like up, more out, more out. Yeah, 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 feel that. Just hold that for like 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Great. Okay, and now do this. Go closed off. Put your hands right above your elbows. Pull them tight and hold that. Not like this, more at the side. More like this, kind of over your chest. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Do you see how emotionally you feel a little bit different when you're out versus when you're like this? Do you feel the change?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what does
yeah.
this tell? Okay. So what this tells you is that listen, this is our current vibe. So what this tells us is that our body, by changing your body position, you can immediately change how you feel. Changing your body has a direct impact on your psychological state. Okay. Let's talk about one other thing. So we talked about head, we talked about shoulders, we talked about hands. These are a lot of directions. I'm very bossy today. I'm sorry. Our last thing we're going to be talking about. Let's talk about sounds. Okay. What's a sound you can make that when you hear it, you're like, oh my gosh? Or like, what's the sound that you hear people make that when you hear it, you're like, that person is sad. When I hear them make that sound, they are sad.
Vocal fry.
Okay, so maybe like a vocal fry. Okay, it's like, but I'm not even talking about speech. So before we're not even saying a word. Okay, so vocal fry will occur. If you're not familiar with vocal fry, vocal fry is kind of like if I were like to like talk like this. This is vocal fry. So, but for vocal fry, you need words, right? So what's a sound that I can make that's like, oh, that Jeff is sad.
Sigh.
What does that sound like? I want the sound. I don't want the name for the sound. I want the sound. What does it sound like? Again, these are great descriptions. So Alyssa's written down like empty, robotic, low, uninterested, disinterested. Great, but I want the sound. What does it sound like? I don't want a description of the sound. I want the sound. Ivan's doing a lot of thinking.
Like you're low in energy and you're gonna showing signs of hopelessness, etc.
This is a great description, but I still don't know what it sounds like. Can you just show me a sound? What does that sound like? Show me what disinterested sounds like. Show me what a low sounds like.
I don't know what to say anymore.
Okay, so I don't even need the words. I just need the like something like that, you know. So like that, just like that. Okay. So if you're watching this, let's just walk through all these directions again. Okay. So what we just did was we just made a catalog of sadness. How do we make something sound sad? Well, first thing, I'm talking too firm. I have to be softer. So now I'm gonna talk softer. Oh, the pitch is low. Oh, so I'm too high. So not only am I soft, I'm gonna be a little lower now with my pitch. Well, I'm talking too fast too because we said the speed needs to be slow. So I'm gonna talk a little slower. And my volume needs to be low. So maybe sometimes I need to whisper. Man, I need to talk like this. Oh, my head's too up, so I gotta lower my head a little bit. Right. Oh, my shoulders are too high, so I'm gonna lower my shoulders a little bit more. I'm gonna slouch. My hands are I'm too open, so I gotta like maybe I'll like hold myself a little bit. Yeah. Keep my hands in my pockets, a little closed off. Okay. Really defensive posture. Don't have your hands out. Keep your hands a little bit closer together. And then the last thing you guys told me is it sounds like you guys are doing some sighing, so like I'm gonna start with like a sigh. Okay. So it's like we're actors, okay? Kind of think of it like that. Here are your stage directions. Soft voice, low pitch, slow speed, low volume. Drop your head, look down a little bit, okay? Shoulders are slouching, shoulders are down a lot. Hands are closed off. Maybe even like holding your hands a little bit, doing like a little, you know. And we're starting with a sigh. Okay. We're going to try to reread this whole thing again following these directions. Okay. Ivan, I'm going to start with you. Okay. Okay.
Well, okay.
Okay. So, Ivan, the first thing I need you to do is look at all these directions. So, these are all the things I need you to try doing. I know it's a lot. Before you start reading, I want you to sigh. A nice big sigh. Ivan, can you sigh for me? Just. Okay. Honestly, even when you sigh, it doesn't even have to be that strong. It could be a lot weaker. It doesn't mean, it doesn't have to be like that. It could be a lot softer.
Alright.
Okay. Great. All right. Whenever you're ready, following these directions, can you read all this for me? One more time.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow placed with rainwater beside the white chickens.
Okay. I think there's some directions that you're following, and there's some directions we're not following. Okay. I think your pacing was pretty slow, so I think we got the speed. I think you. Let's just go down. Firmness. You were still pretty firm. You're kind of still talking like this, but we didn't. Where did we go soft? Where was the whisper? You told me our volume is going to be low. Where was our volume low? Right. The pitch. There's moments you're going high in pitch. You're going back up here in pitch, but you told me we're going to be low in pitch. So we have to go lower. Okay. Your head. Your head's still very much kind of normal position, but you told me our head's going to be down a little bit. Okay. Shoulders. We said we're going to be slouching more. Okay. I want you to try it one more time, thinking about these things. Think about, where am I going lower in pitch? Where am I whispering? Okay. Am I keeping my head down? Okay. Do me a favor, before you even read it, okay? Ivan, I want you to sigh again, and I want you to look down, and I want you to slouch your shoulders a bit, okay? That sigh was your best sigh. That was the best sigh you gave me for this class. That was a really good sigh. That was great. You're great at sighing. Okay? All right. Put yourself in the body position for this, okay? So our head's down, we're slouching, we're low pitches. You're going to sigh, and then you're going to read this, okay? Read it one more time.
So is this good enough?
Let's find out together. Okay.
All right.
Start off with a sigh again. Go soft, okay? Low pitch. One more time.
So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow laced with rainwater besides the white chickens.
Okay. Something I would encourage you to continue practicing. One of the things that's happening is every time you're starting a new group, you keep going back to the same pitch level. So we're not actually descending. It's like, so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain. Like, we just keep bouncing. You keep returning to a higher pitch, even though we said we're going to be dropping down. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Let's try one more time. I want you to try one more technique, okay? Drop in pitch the entire time. Don't ever go back up. The entire time. Okay? Okay. Put yourself in sad position. Sad position, everyone. Okay. Start off with a sigh again, and then do it one more time, okay?
All right. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow laced with rainwater besides the white chickens. That could have been worse, but
So what's happening is we're still bobbing again, right? Like, so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rain. Do you see how we keep kind of going back up in pitch? Okay. Ivan, can you say for me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's not what I did. And the difference is that you're like 1, 2, 3. You're staying at the same level. I'm going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See how it's descending?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That was better, but your 3 and your 5 went up. You're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 versus 1, 2, 3, 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
We went a little high on 5, but that was better. Okay. Let's do
Right.
this one more time, then we're going to give Gansham a go, okay? I want you to try to do that with this. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So much depend, and then keep going, okay? Just keep descending.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So much depends upon a red wheelbarrow laced with rainwater besides the white chickens.
That was better. You still have these moments where you're going up in pitch. So when you're watching this, for instance, on the replay, the goal is to not go up in pitch on your struts. For instance, you're still going up on wheelbarrow. Okay. Rainwater. These are moments you tend to go up in pitch. So I would continue watching out for those. Okay. What I will say is that we haven't been working on this very long, guys. We've been working on this, what, 15 minutes, maybe? Compared to that reading you gave right there, I am starting to get more emotion from what you did right there compared to what we did 15 minutes ago. Okay, so we're starting, which is good. Okay. I'll move over to Gansham, okay? Ganchiam, same instructions, okay? So again, your firmness, we're going soft. Your pitch, we're going low. Speed, we're going slow. Volume, we're
Yeah.
low. Whispering sometimes, okay? Head is down,
uh,
okay? Your shoulders are slouching. Hands, put them in wherever you put your hands when you're sad. And the sounds, we're going to start with a sigh, okay? Whenever you're ready, can you read this for me?
So much depends upon the red wheel barrel blazed with rainwater beside a white chicken.
Okay. I really liked your the last group was very good. The other parts of this, you're doing the same thing that Ivan did. We're bouncing pitches again. We start descending, then we go high again, and then we go high again, and then we go high again. So it's taken away from the experience. It's very distracting, okay, because it's not cohesive. Okay, um, it's the same idea where we're just trying to descend the entire time. Again, it's the idea like 1, 2, 3,
3.
4, 5. Okay, it's the idea you cannot go back up in pitch. When you leave a pitch, you cannot return there. When you leave home, you can't go back. Your parents lock the door. Okay, do you want to try
Can
it
I
again?
read one more time?
Yeah.
So much depends upon the red wheel barrel blazed with rainwater beside a white chicken.
That was better than before. What we still do is we still have a tendency at the start of each of these units, you still have a tendency to go back up. So we're still kind of getting these like bouncing things. Okay. If you wanted to keep a consistent pitch, just to give you a model, let's just kind of target the pitch things. If you wanted this to descend in pitch, again, like 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4, 5. Okay. It's like so much depends upon a red wheelbarrow glazed with rainwater beside the white chicken. Do you see that? That's just a consistent drop in pitch. It never goes back up. It just keeps descending.
Yeah.
We just fall. Okay.
Yeah.
I do have to head out in a moment, but Ivan or Gansham, do you guys have any questions for me about anything we just talked about?
I
No
think that
question.
would be enough.
Okay. The final thing I will say is that this sort of framework, you can apply it to anything, right? So if you have something that you're trying to work on, ask yourself, what is the emotion I'm trying to convey with this? What do I want my listener to feel? Then you can ask yourself, okay, so to convey that feeling, what sort of firmness do I need? What sort of pitch do I need? What sort of speed do I need? What sort of volume do I need? What do I need to do with my body? And then once you have those decisions, then you can carry it out through your speech. And that's going to change how you read it. Both of you guys, the way you read it at the end was different than how we started. Okay. Obviously, these things take time. It doesn't happen immediately, but already you're giving your listener a different experience. Well, thank you.
How can I read? How can I read this poem when I'm happy?
Mm.
So then the question would become, I mean, let's just talk about happiness. How do you make something sound happy? It's the same idea.
We can use a higher pitch when I'm
Okay.
happy.
Okay. Higher pitch. What else?
More energetic.
How do you make something more
Energetic.
energetic?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. What does it mean if I'm more energetic? How do I show energy?
Uh,
Face
harassing.
expression.
Yeah, that could be it.
Okay. The thing that when you're
Body
doing these sorts of
language.
exercises, yeah, you need to think about your body language too. Ask yourself, try to stay away from adjectives. Okay, so try to stay away from like, oh, I need to be more energetic, or oh, I need to like do, because that doesn't really mean anything. You need to think about what are the specific things I do to show that. How do you show energy? Well, maybe, for instance, you use high pitches. Maybe you increase your speed. Maybe you increase your firmness. Maybe that's what conveys energetic,
You
right?
raise your volume.
Maybe raise your volume. Exactly. These are the things we need to be thinking about. Those are the techniques. We want the techniques. We don't want the adjectives. We want the techniques. Come. All right. Well, thank you both for joining me. If you guys have other questions, I'll be back next week, right around this time again, the next edition of The Express. Thank you all. I hope you guys have a good day. Have a good night.